Okay, everyone, this is video designing lockbox inside holder. So essentially, if you are watching the whole series of stuff, you've learned how to design this. You've saw the overview, and now what we're going to do is be going over this component here. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the visibility of most of this so we can actually see it a little bit better. And as you can tell, I have all my lock constraints, but this is the thing that we're making. And we're going to do something a little different with this one. And mainly, these pins are going to be orientated just to alter direction to kind of help us out. Or they might not. I don't know. We'll see how it works when I get to it. But let's get right after it. Here's our drawings on what we're going to steal from. And we're going to start a plane right here and kick it going forward and kick it going back. But our plan is to draw the most of everything right away. All right. Here we go. So starting apart. What I want to do now is I want to do a file save as right away, and where I want to save this file is going to be back in my OneDrive in drafting, 3D printing, with the projects. Remember, we made a folder here for this. This is going to be a new part, and this one here is going to be called B-1 inside folder. Okay, now that my part is named, we're going to go ahead and start a sketch. And my plan is to start a sketch right here. And remember, I'm going to steal dimensions from this. Remember, I'm going to start one with 9/16 and 15/32. So, let's get back into that sketch. Start from the center, 9/16. And then it was 15/32 if I wasn't mistaken. Let's double check. Yeah. Now I'm going to start one here at 5/32. I'm going to open that up. Now that's got to be centered. But remember, when we draw, we really don't care about our lengths. We want to make sure that we are snapping our stuff to where they're being vertically constrained and horizontally constrained. But the most part, I just want to make sure that my opening is what I'm required. I think it was 5/32 if I wasn't mistaken. And definitely that is wrong. No, it is 5/32. So, I must have typed something else in. No, I did not. That's weird. 5/32 looks really, really big. So, what did we do wrong? Let's Control Z all that. Let's delete this. Let's go ahead and trim this open so that way we can see everything that's going on. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that that is definitely odd. 5/32. Interesting. So let's do it again. 5/32. That's okay. What's half of 5/32? Well, the cool thing about Inventor is we're going to say 5/32 divided by 2, but and now it's equally opened it up. Now that is massive. So let's go back to this and let's find out exactly how I did this. Because that is a lot bigger than 5/32. I'm almost certain of it. Wow, look at that. 0.156. 25, I'm assuming is that what that is. But let's go to advanced properties. Let's bring it all the way, all decimals. So that's a lot bigger than I anticipated. So if I open this up, let's double click on this. Let's find out what happened here. So I'm going to escape out of that, open this up. Let's do another dimension here. Let's just see what pops up. That is 5/32. Maybe my tolerances aren't correct. No, 64, so let's go 128. That is correct. That does not look correct. Either way, sorry, I'm kind of a little unorthodox when we're doing this. Let's leave it on for right now. Let's go ahead and do our outside, which is going to be the 1.5 inches. with the polygon of 8 sides. So let's go here for 1.5 inches. And then my plan is to do a polygon of 8 sides. I think I already see what's going on. Notice I'm clicking on this because I'm going to scribe it within. Boom, boom. Alright, so here's my problem. I'm almost certain that was a radius. I need to times it by 2 because I thought it was diameter. Now that looks better. Boom. Okay, so there's that. Sorry for the slight confusion. I was reading radiuses, but I was drawing them as diameters. So now that we've started it, it makes a lot more sense. So we're going to just make this one, and then we're going to array it. And so my plan here is I'm going to go an opening of 9 1/28. So we're going to go back to here. I'm going to start from the center. Remember, we don't really care the length of anything, mainly because we're going to be able to dimension this stuff later. So 9 1/28. And then remember, I want it centered, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go, hey, here to here, and I'm going to go 9 1/28 space divided by 2. And then that centers it equally. Now, my next plan is I'm going to trim this out. And I'm also going to look at my dimensions here. I have a bottom one of 19 1/28. So we're going to do another one here. And I'm going to give that one the same. Oops. Notice I'm not selecting a point. I want to make sure I'm selecting a line. Don't ever select points. So we're 9. Was it 9 or 19? Let's find out. It was 19. So there we go. Back to this. 19 1/28. There's that. Perfect. And then, of course, we're going to do our stuff here. 19 1/28 space divided by 2. And it'll center it. Now I should have another line at the very tippy top of 21 32. So we're going to draw a line just randomly. We really don't care. But I will give it a dimension of 21 32. So 21 32. There it is. Now my plan is to extend this stuff. There it is. I'm going to trim this also, just so I don't have them kind of sticking up. But you will notice back in this view that this is a 78-degree opening from the bottom of this 1932 or 1/28. So I'm going to come in both at that bottom point, and then I'll just make the angle after. Remember, we really don't care about making angles quite yet. We're just going to draw them. Or you can draw them and you can hit tab and you can go 78 divided by 2 because it needs to make sure that it stays open. Now, if I have that angle put together and I put this angle as 78, it'll fix the other side. And then, of course, I trim my stuff. And why do I trim it? Mainly because we have a completed shape. I will, however, leave this there, just our lines, so we have snap settings. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and select these components, and I'm going to do a circular array off the center. And if you zoom in here, you got to make sure that you're snapping to the right stuff. Now we're going to choose, the axis, and I'm going to choose, 8 of them. And now I can kind of choose whichever ones I want. You can do a lot more than what I have. Now, the only reason that these are here, because when this part comes back on, so let's just choose this one to come back on. Bring this one's visibility back. When this piece slides forward and comes onto it, the only way that this thing is actually not falling off is that these pins right here slide inside, and make up the component of keeping it in place. So you know that there's something there. You can see it here, but when I turn the view and I make the visibility of it a wireframe, you can almost see them sitting in here. So it's almost pinning itself inside, so this thing won't slide off at any point. And like I said, if we come back to here, we can do a lot more than what we have here. I only chose to do 3. If you wanted to do a lot more, you most certainly can. Just kind of make sure that when you do choose this, that you make sure that your rings that go with it match. So if we go back to this, you'll see that my rings have to match. Like I have to match this with my inside holder. So if I change it, certainly you may do so, but just make sure it matches on your next one. All right, so I kind of like what we have. I'm going to keep it just because I don't want to mess up with the blueprints and kind of confuse people. Now notice I didn't select that one, so I'm going to go Control E on that to undo what I just said. I'm going to hold Control and I'm going to unselect these lines that I don't want to come over. And now I'm going to array it again, find the center. And as you can tell, it's all put in the way I want it. I'm going to finish it now. And now my plan is we're going to do a couple things that are a little unorthodox. So I'm going to bring it forward, my 2 3/8. Then I'm going to bring it back, my 1/4 inch. All right, here we go. So let's come forward 2 3/8. And now I'm going to bring my sketch back. And I'm going to bring it back, going the other direction. Now we set a 1/4. If it was me, or I'm sorry, we set an 1/8 inch. If it was me, I'd make it match the other side. I honestly, when I started designing this the first time, that was one hiccup that I didn't change. If you look at this, and we change it back to a realistic, and I bring this back to visibility, you'll notice that this is a lot thicker than that. I don't know why I did that, but if you wanted to make it back to a 1/4 inch instead of your 1/8 inch, you most certainly can. So I said 1/4 inch, but we're going to keep it as an inch. Actually, you know what? Heck on it. We're going to bring it as a 1/4 inch because that really doesn't dictate much. So now that we have that, what I want to do next is I want to come back another plane of 7/64 from the front, and then what we drew already, we're going to copy and paste into this new sketch here, and then do an array of 61/64s, kicking it back 3 times. Now the reason why I can't do more than 3 times is because this model here has got to be able to slide back as it goes through, and if I had them all just lined up perfectly, it would kind of almost defeat the purpose of having this on there. So there's a lot of different engineering styles that you can take. Like I could do a lot more of these hooks on here, you know, if I really truly wanted to do. That way this could come on, then rotate, and then go through the second layer, then rotate back up to go through this, and then rotate back down, you know. But I don't know, we're going to kind of keep it semi-simple. All right, so we're going to make a sketch, come back that 7/64. So negative 7/64. There's a plane there. Let's double check I did write that. Yep, perfect. Now the cool part is we're going to go back to this original sketch, and my hopes and dreams are I'm just going to select everything, and I'm going to go right click and I'm going to copy it. I'm going to finish the sketch. Now I'm going to come back to this plane that we made, start a new sketch. I'm going to right click and I'm just going to hit paste, and it will literally put it exactly where I want it. Now it's rotating it a little bit, but that's okay. So if I wanted to do a Control Z and then rotate this cube and then go Control and then do it all over again, I guess I could. So I could open this up, I could select it all, I could go copy, finish the sketch, go back into this sketch, rotate this, and go Control paste. Boom. Now, that is the view that I was hoping for. So if I come back, oh, actually, it's not really. I don't really know why I did that, but that's okay. We're gonna keep it like this. I like it. So we're gonna get rid of this visibility. I don't want to see a double sketch going on. But now I want to extrude these coming back. And the ones that I'm going to choose are going to be 4. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Why? I don't know. I'm just kind of changing things up. It doesn't really dictate anything with the model, except for the fact that we're going to have to just change our rings to match it. So let's go back to here, and remember I need to be 33 1/28. So I'm going to type it in, 33 1/28. There's that. I'm going to get rid of my visibility of my plane, and now I want to kick that thing going this way. And honestly, I don't know if I like that. Let's hold Shift and let's undo these. See, I got those. I don't know, something just seems weird. I don't know if I like it. What if we did that? How does that look? I think that looks good. We're going to go like that. We're going to keep it simple. I'm going to say okay. Notice I can just keep doing that. If I wanted to go back, I can just hold my Shift and unselect the stuff I don't want to. And then I can reselect the shapes that I do like. All right. Before we array it, we're going to go ahead and give these the fillets that they require, which is a 1/64. So notice it's not in the front. It's just in the sides, just like the last outside holder. So let's go into here. Let's do our fillet. We said 1/64, and we wanted to go this way, and 1/64. And I don't think I did any more than just that. I think I just did the tip tops, which is correct. Yeah, just the tips. So there's that. Now what I want to do is I want to kick this going back in an arrayed fashion with the space of 61/64 from front to front. So let's do it. All right, so I'm going to select 2 features at this point so I don't have to do the arrays on every single one of those. We're going to kick it going in this direction, and we're going to do 3 of them, and our distance is going to be 61/64. And then if I turn my view here, you'll see that it's what I'm looking for. So there's that. Everything looks good. Let's make sure that I think that looks good. I better just double check. I did not fill out the inside of this. You can if you want, but I did fill out the outside there. So, like I said, we're changing things up a little bit as we go. We brought this to being 1/4 inch, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yep, I brought that 1/4 inch instead of the 1/8 inch. But now I want to make sure that my pin, my arrow, lines up the same. So when I came to that sketch, now I want to project the geometry of it. And I'm going to go ahead and just draw a line here at 5/16 because I know actually, is it 5/16? Let's find out. It's actually 7/32. So remember, you can kind of change things up if you want. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my blueprints here, and I'm going to match what I've done for this one. So we came 3/8. So we're kind of having to go back, and that's easy enough because take a look at this. This is the cool part. We said 5/16, and it makes it exactly what I need it to be, which is kind of cool. So let's go back to that PDF. So we said 3/8. I'm sorry. So let's go back to this. Let's make it 3/8. We want to try to match it, make it look nice. Now we'll go back to that original sketch. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that this thing stays horizontally constrained with the center, which it is. I'm going to offset this 1/16 of an inch. Same here. And now I'm going to go ahead and draw my arrow that I want. And then I want to do a vertical constraint with this. So So it lines it up. Now notice it did not move my arrows like I wanted it to. So let's go Control Z. Let's complete the shape first. And then let's lock this in, being from here to there, as that's staying like that. And now let's do it again. Let's go, hey, here from here to here, should move. And so notice it shifts everything together. And now I want to delete this line. I want to delete that line, delete that line. There's the shape I'm looking for. I'm going to say okay. I'm going to extrude this also a 32nd because that's what it was before on the other one. So if I pulled it up, it's a 32nd too. So we want to keep it the same. I don't know if I kept it that size on this one. Yep, 32nd here. So let's go back. I'm moving around a lot, so bear with me as we kind of adapt and change this. So that looks pretty good to me. I like it. Let's go ahead and put our fillets on. Now, notice our fillets are 30 seconds, all on both sides here. There is no additional fillets on the inside of this circle. Nothing's here, nothing's there. So all we got is that. So let's go back here. Let's put on these last fillets. And that was 1/32. There's that. Okay. I think that looks pretty dang good if you ask me. Now, before we go any further, remember we like to change our color of our stuff, so we'll make this one, I don't know, let's make it red. Why not? And now let's make these pins themselves, along with that, we'll make them pink. This pink pops pretty good. We'll make the arrow a pink. And then we'll make sure that change this shape to being a yellow. So that way it pops. And then we'll do the inside as a magenta. I don't know. We're just changing it up as we go. So I like it. Remember, you can alter and change your things if you want. Like put something back here. Like Spearson, your last name, first name. Maybe possibly a hint. But remember, when you're actually extruding, I want you to cut inside this object. Don't extrude out, because when this prints, I want it laying flat. And we're going to print all of these without any support material, because that seems to be the best option. Okay, congratulations. You're done with this part. We changed a little bit of things, but the things that we did change will not affect the actual components of the overall project. So if we bring all the shapes back together, you'll see kind of the only thing that we really necessarily fixed and changed. We changed the pin narration for here, but we also changed the thickness of this to match that. All right. Congratulations. Way to get done with this one. Make sure you're saving the appropriate folder too. I can't stress that enough. Make sure you're in OneDrive, drafting all the way down to parts. All right.